Hi you guys, hope you all are having a great day. Don't forget to subscribe and all the links will be down below. So I am doing the Taupe contour products, and before anybody says anything about my shirt, I promise you I have it on the correct way. These are going to be the Taupe contour products under 15. I do have one contour product I would like to show you that is over 15, but I didn't want to make it under 20 because there was only one and it's $16. So let's get right into it. The first thing I'm going to talk about I don't have physically to show you. The first one my mom owns. The second one I dropped it about last year and it cracked, so I don't have that one to show you. I'm gonna do it from the most expensive to the cheapest ones. First one is $16 and that is MAC Blush in Taupe. This is something my mom's owned for quite a while now. She's owned it because she always feels like she never can find a bronzer dark enough for her, and she's not even that dark, but it's a mental thing. So MAC Blush in Taupe is something she's always used as a bronzer, not even a contour shade. I'm sure if I said contour, she wouldn't even know what you're talking about, but I used it back when I was a little bit younger, and that was just something that I would always use as a contour shade. Average contour shade, but not like average as in a bad average, it's just like plain, completely exactly what a contour shade should be. It's cool tone brown. It's not overly chalky, like powdery, but it's not the creamiest either. It's like a perfect standard powder. And at the same time, it's not like overly pigmented, but it's not where it barely comes up either when you're applying it like right here on the side of your cheekbone. So I feel like it's the average cool tone brown, not too warm, not too dark. And I find that if you really like MAC products, you definitely like this. For me, I find other stuff that's better, but it's really good, especially for $16. You don't have to go out and buy a contour kit. MAC Blush in Taupe. So if you're a big MAC fan, I would go check that out. The next one I want to talk about is something that is actually from a contour kit, and this is Fawn from the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is from that contour kit that they had, the one that they released over a year ago, I would say now. And this is a shade from that contour kit. You can go online and like mix it up. Anytime I go and I buy the contour kit, I always go and I swatch it out and I always ask them to apply it on me so I can test it, and I wear it throughout the day and it's pretty good. I see that it kind of leans towards more of the gray tone, so if you are darker, you know, there are other tones that Anastasia has, like so many you can customize your contour kit from, but it's $14 for the regular pan if you wanted to like stick a magnet and put it in your Z palette. But it's completely cool tone, no warmth whatsoever, kind of gray. I do find it a little bit powdery, but it applies very well and it's very pigmented. So if you're not into the whole contour thing, this might not be for you, but for $14, you can just get one shade, so you don't have to spend the $40 for the complete contour kit. And the third one I'm talking about is the Inglot, and it's a number 508, and I find this leans more towards a little bit warm, but it's still cool. It's not orange, but it's not the coolest tone brown either. And this I had gotten and I had stuck it in a Z palette, and I completely, like after I was taking it out of the Z palette, because you know sometimes powder gets in and clean it, I dropped it on my tile floor and it cracked. But not like the metal crack, like the powder, but it just cracked and the powder went everywhere. I had to clean up. It was a complete mess. So I just wound up throwing it away because there was barely anything left and it was just cracking it more. I used it. I'm like, you know what? If I need a new one, I'll buy it. And I believe it's like $13, $12. You can get it from Beautylish. I think that's where I got mine from, with the Duraline, the, you know, $10 thing. You can make eyeshadows and eyeliners and stuff like that. But this I find it's a little bit more like, it's not completely warm, but it's not completely cool. Like I said, it's not orange tone, but it is. If you are very fair skin, maybe this wouldn't be the best for you because it could come off a little bit muddy, but I absolutely love it, and it's very creamy and it's not overly pigmented either like the Anastasia one is, so I feel like I can build it up. The first time I use it on my cheekbones, it's usually good enough. If I really want to go heavy and I'm going out at night maybe, I'll apply a little bit more, but it's like perfect. And again, you don't even have to wear a bronzer with this because I feel like it does both. It bronzes and contours at the same time, and you get a good amount because it's like a little rectangle. I'll probably put pictures in so you can see what I'm talking about. The next one, which is $12.99, or depending on if you get it on sale. This is the only contour palette I'm going to show you, and I know you guys probably know exactly what I'm talking about because NYX's contour palette's $25. This one's only like $12.99. This is the BH Cosmetics one. This is the one that I always go for because it's, again, really cool. This is one of those things that I am allergic to. The one ingredient, the first ingredient in this, is something that my skin does not react well with, but as you know, customer service is really good and gave me my refund back. Unfortunately though, after I used this for a little bit, my skin wound up having a reaction. I had to get my photos taken back in June, and I had applied this contour because, I'm sorry, I absolutely love this contour shade. It's like the perfect shade for me. By the next day, my skin was already reacting. So unfortunately, I cannot use it, but it is a little bit darker. So if you're fair skin, maybe this wouldn't be for you, but it's It's not overly pigmented either. Again, perfect amount. I would say the same as the Inglot, but it is a little bit powdery. So just be careful. But if you're gonna get a contour kit, definitely get this one because it's $12.99 and you have the perfect contour shade and you even have a little bronzer shade rather than spending $40 on some shades you may not even need. So I have another 3 that I'm gonna be talking about and I have them here. These are gonna be the cheapest ones among them, so they're gonna be the most inexpensive. So I'm just gonna start with my NYX, and this is an HD blush in Taupe, as many of you have heard. This has the same ingredient that my BH Cosmetics one has, so I have a reaction to it, and I didn't know it until I had applied it. Should have looked at the ingredients, but I didn't. This is what it looks like. This is probably the warmest among all of them, and I'll give you a swatch. It's a little bit warm, as you can see. It has more of not that orange in it, but a little bit of that red in it, so you have to be careful. Don't apply too much, and I'll put a swatch of the BH Cosmetics one. So you see it applies smoother than the NYX one does, but the NYX one, I don't know why, it's kind of like crumbling in the middle of it. I'm sure you can't even see it, but it does kind of lean more of a reddish brown, but it's still not orange or warm tone. So it's still really good for contouring. It's $6, and I feel like this is gonna work on most skin types, unless you're really, really pale. I wouldn't really try this because it is a little bit on the red side, but for me, it works for me. My MAC NW 20 or 25, depending on the season. 20 during winter, 25 during the summer. This is something that I think everybody should have in their kit. It's only $6, and most people aren't allergic to it like I am. And again, it really does work. Even though it has that reddish tint to it, it still looks natural, but it doesn't look overly contoured, and it still doesn't look orange. So I really like it. Just be aware because it does crumble a little bit in the middle, but it does last long just like all the other ones do. So this next one I feel like is the creamiest one, and this is $5.99, and I have my Z palette right here with me, so I'm just gonna pop it out. And this is Barcelona Beach by Makeup Geek. This I feel comes with double the amount Morphe does because it's higher up, but this is like the most creamy. This is the creamiest one that I've seen yet, and I'm gonna put a swatch right there for you, but it is more on the gray tone side. I feel like this is like a very gray toned contour shade that almost looks like a perfect shadow underneath your cheeks. So I really like it. Some people say it's a little bit too gray toned for them if you are, again, darker skin, because it could look ashy, but on my skin, which I am about light to medium, I find it works very well. This is probably the most blendable one too, but you have to be careful because it's pigmented at first, but you can blend it away very easily. Lasting power, I say this will last about 7 hours. Sometimes I get too oily and it kind of just disappears on my skin. But this, I feel like, again, is the creamiest one, the most gray toned one, not overly powdery. It's very, very creamy, and it blends like a dream. So if you're trying to blend something and you don't really want to go with that harsh contour, this is definitely the one to go for. Just remember, don't blend it away. And again, that is $5.99. And then for the cheapest one among all the ones I'm talking about, and this is I think this is Dulce de Leche. This is the contour kit I just picked up. I picked it up a couple weeks ago. This is what it looks like. So I feel like this is probably the least pigmented among all the ones I'm talking about. It's like $3.99. I think I picked it up for $4.17 with tax and everything. But I can apply this with just regular foundation on right here, and it'll almost look like I don't have anything on. Like it's probably the most natural among all the ones, again, I'm talking about. Least pigmented, but most natural. But you can definitely build it up to a really dark pigment, so it will look really harsh on there until you blend it away. But honestly, this is probably my favorite only because I am not a complete contour freak. When I talk about makeup, I like the most natural looking makeup. I'm not a big contour, strobing, all that, and like I like to be natural, which is why I don't really do smoky eyes. I don't even have any eyeshadow, and I just have mascara. But I can make smoky eyes, I can do all of that. I just don't tend to do that unless I'm going out at night. This is perfect for every day, and again, it's the cheapest one. You can pick it up at Walmart. I should be in Caramel Toffee rather than Dulce de Leche because the Dulce de Leche one is a little bit too light for me. But both of them are cool tone browns, and they're both amazing for $3.17. So I've been on this hunt for drugstore contour shades for the longest time. We're trying to get the most inexpensive ones, so I don't have to buy contour palettes with that cool tone gray, brownish color. So these are all the ones that I found that were under $15. So I hope you guys like this video, and if you want to see more, don't forget to leave me a comment. I hope you guys all have a great day, and don't forget to subscribe.